Billy Lavender of Diamond Bank, Morgan Smith, Randall McMahon of Mount Pleasant.
Morgan Smith of Phone Pros.
I knew Ben was going to say something.
Dragon fan number one.
Great opening to the show, Ben. Great opening show. Hey, and I knew he was going to try to throw a little slide right there off the bat. So y'all don't listen to him, but good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that's Buddy Shelton.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Ben, tell them about this. I didn't actually know this was. These guys treat it like a rivalry, I guess, kind of. I don't know that this is to be a rivalry, but these guys are
rivalries.
Huh?
You always talking about a rivalry.
Well, so there's a whole story about the rivalry deal that kind of goes back to last year during basketball season, but we won't get into that on the show. Billy, tell us about what's going on this week.
Man, I-30 showdown right here in Texarkana at Texas High tomorrow night. The Tigers versus the Tigers. You got the gold and black. Is it gold and black or yellow and black?
How's it going to be a rivalry? You don't even know.
I mean, you take care of yourself in a rivalry. You don't.
That's true.
You know, and the orange and black, and man, it's good to be with Randall, and we have a friendly rivalry, and it's always a big game when we play. It's a easy place to get to, right down the road, and they'll travel well, and it'll be a big show on Friday night.
So, how long has this been going on since y'all been in the same district? How long is that?
Shoot, since I've been in school, I mean, so, you know, the 80s, I guess. Wouldn't you say, Billy?
Yeah, I'd say at least.
You know, so, I mean, since the early 90s, it's been, for us, it's been a rivalry. You know, it's been a one-sided deal for quite a while now.
Right, right.
But, you know, we're turning the corner, and program's getting better. We've got great coaches now. We've got some really good talent coming through. So, you know, we look at it, Mount Pleasant looks at it as a benchmark for us for the season. Unfortunately, we have to catch them on the first district game.
Right.
So, you know, we open with those guys, and then it kind of, you know, slacks off. But it's a benchmark for us, and it's an opportunity for Mount Pleasant to come up here and compete and see where we stand.
Oh, so y'all are coming to Grimm.
Oh yeah.
We aren't going to say anything about how good the quarterback is?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some
there.
highlights of
Say,
that.
he's
I've
trying to
seen
be
some
humble over
highlights of
here.
that dude.
He's salty. He's salty. I don't know what stock he comes from, but he's salty. But, you know, another thing about that, and it was really before, you know, I was Arkansas High, and so before I really followed Texas High, I remember going to Mount Pleasant to see Texas High play Mount Pleasant when Texas High was really good, and I think it was the year they won the state championship. Mount Pleasant was the only one that beat them. So it's you know, Mount Pleasant gets geared up for Texas High. Texas High gets geared up for Mount Pleasant. It's, you know, a lot of these kids know each other. Yeah, let's talk about the quarterback. You know anything about the quarterback?
Maybe a little bit. You know, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's put in a lot of work this last summer to get to where he's at. He's got a lot of weapons around him. Offensive line this year has been a lot better. You know, our bread and butter is our defense. I'm not going to lie to anybody. We've got some really good guys on the defense that get after it. You know, the thing about Mount Pleasant T-High for me is when we show up, we've always had less kids. You know, I remember 2 years ago when my nephew was coming through, we had 34 on the sideline. Wow. T-High had like 85.
Right.
You know, so the depth has always been our issue. We've always had some dudes at Mount Pleasant. You know, some guys that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And it's just like Mason this year.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think really a lot of people know about him yet. He had a really good game against Sulphur Springs, you know, and killed it against them, and then comes back and we play Frisco. Frisco was a really good team. They're ranked number 2 in the state right now.
Now, that's not the same Frisco that Pleasant Grove played, was it?
No, we played a little bit better competition.
Yeah. I think they picked kind of a cupcake there.
Yeah,
But
so.
Well, and you can kind of undersell him a little bit.
What did
but
this year?
we know who Mason is, and I get around our program a little bit, and I get to see them watching film, and so they know who he is and what he does, and I mean that kid can. I went to the when y'all scrimmaged Pleasant Grove earlier this year, and I was sitting up there kind of near you, and I was just watching him and the way he carries himself and around his players. He looks like a leader, and kid can freaking sling the ball.
Before I knew that was your son, I was talking about how good he was. I don't know how I didn't know that was your son.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Dude can ball.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm the same way. I didn't know it was your son. Ben actually pointed that out to me. Man, I mean, week 2 or week 3, because you know, we've seen all these highlights, and of course we chat with you, and he said that's his son, and I was like, oh man, that's really good.
Well, it's a great quarterback matchup for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Are we-
also got to, look at. I'll tell you what's going to be a key is, what's it, Money, Latristan
Yeah.
Thompson, him versus, the stud receivers at Texas High.
For me, that's the biggest and going to be the best matchup of the night with TJ and Money. TJ is an incredible receiver, obviously. I think Money is one of the most under-recruited kids in the state. I will put him in the top 3 corners in the state. He's very physical. He covers well. His brother was Katie Cannon,
Oh yeah.
who went to Baylor.
Yeah.
So, and on the other side, you got Deuce, who's his younger brother. He's a sophomore. They're brothers. So, at corner, we're pretty good.
What about that little receiver that showed out
Dylan
against?
Bennett.
Yeah. So
Number
Dylan
13?
Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's number 0.
No.
Okay, 0.
Yeah, 0. He was a junior Olympian. He's a true 4'4" top guy.
Water
You know,
bug.
he's 5'6", but he can go.
We need to get a game day over at Mount Pleasant.
Working on that.
That's what we need to do.
Telling you.
Well, y'all got some athletes.
Can we pick up hooks though?
Do what?
Can we pick up hooks in Mount Pleasant and give Buddy a little bit of,
Oh,
Y'all
well,
should
reprieve from y'all?
Little
Y'all should
airtime.
play each other.
they don't want that smoke. Like Billy said earlier, it's the clash on I-30. That would really be a clash on I-30.
It would.
For
Well,
15
they
minutes.
still wouldn't be y'all's rival. Hit him with it one time there. Donovan.
Don't
Hit him with it one time. Who is Hook's rival?
Redwater.
Look at the hat. Look at the hat. Look at the hat. Oh man.
Golly.
Go ahead and move it down the middle of his face. Move it to his face.
Who's moving here, me or him?
We can lock it onto your head. Every time you move, it'll move.
He's a Redwater guy.
He is a Redwater dude. Don't let him lie to you.
And the overall
redheaded
series is
dude.
very close.
What's that?
The overall series is very close.
That is not true. I don't know where you get them numbers from, but
Me
we're
and
not
Mo-
here to talk
Hey,
about that.
I didn't know anything about anything. When Hooks played at Redwater in the basketball game, we went and streamed it. Great first half. Redwater was actually leading at the end of the first half. It was one of the better basketball games we did in the regular season. Of course, Hooks turned it on second half, ended up winning. I said, hey, this feels like a rivalry atmosphere because Hooks brought all their kids. Redwater kids were rocking. My niece was a senior last year, so she played the game before the boys, had like 26 points. But they got beat pretty bad, but she played well.
But you have to understand how little
But
their gym
all
is.
I said was, this seems like a rivalry game. I've never heard the end of it since.
And
Well, they're
only-
very close in proximity. A lot of them's related, the same colors. I mean,
Ben, you are going way off the right. But what I'm saying is just
I mean,
so
from
we're
what
not
I
stuck
heard,
on this, so we don't get stuck.
Hook stole Redwater's colors.
That's a lie.
That's what word on
well.
the street is.
Yeah. But so I'm just gonna say this, and that's gonna be it. And I'm moving on for something else.
That's a lie.
Their gym is like 2 times smaller than any other gym around here.
That's not true.
So when Hook-
Y'all have the exact same size gym, exact same size stands. What are you?
crazy.
I'm not gonna let you do that to them.
Hey,
I'm not
telling
gonna
you.
let you do that
I'm
to them.
telling you.
Y'all have the exact same size
That
gym.
gym is
Have
not
you
the
been in
same
this
size.
gym? Either one, dude. I'm telling you.
First off,
Are those gyms not the
We
same
got-
size? This dude,
That's not-
you
that's
can't
not
see
true.
what I mean. This dude's a homer if I've ever met one. Y'all's gym is not bigger than theirs.
hey, so all my guys out there watching, y'all back me up. Y'all know our gym's bigger. We travel well. So when we packed that gym up, that's why he said that it looked like a rival. So that's where it stemmed from. But Hooks has never rivaled with Redwater. I'm putting that out there.
Then why do you keep talking about it?
Y'all brought it up.
You brought it up.
No, Ben
That
did.
was a year ago. You're still talking about it.
okay,
Hey.
so back to Mount Pleasant in Texas High.
It's getting rough around here, boy.
Hey, on a serious note, Randall, what is the new culture that Coach Cluey has brought in with him, and how has it changed everything around the football program out there?
Coach come in and, he's been there a year and a half now, be 2 years December. He come in, put his arms around all the kids and, shows them, goes through the day-to-day of how they need to act as young men as well as players. The biggest thing for us has just been the weight room. Coach Morales and a couple of the other coaches, I mean, the weight room has really changed where we're at. I mean, Billy will see it tomorrow night. It's just we look different. We've got some dudes that have grown, have gotten stronger, and continuing to do that. So I'm really excited to see where he takes it over the next 4 years. I've got another son that's in the 8th grade. And Mason continues to tell him every day, it's like, hey, just stay the course with what they're doing, and you guys will be so much better than we are because of that culture. Right. And I mean, obviously T-High's got that. PG's has that. Hooks has that with Birdwell. I mean, so, we're just trying to get to that level.
And it's amazing, and you touched on it, what coaches do. I think we don't give them enough credit of what they do with these kids and how their culture can change. I mean, you saw it when Gibson came in. You saw it when Stanford came in. What they can do just with the same kids that may have been there the year before, just the belief, you know. So
I mean, we used to have kids that wouldn't come to summer workouts. I mean, you'd have half the team. Now you have maybe 2 or 3 that don't come during the summer. And if you don't show up, one of the players or a coach is at your house the next day and picking you up, bringing you up there, or making sure that you're coming. So that's really the biggest thing we've seen is just the commitment from the kids.
And Outlaw, I didn't mention Outlaw. He's changed their culture, I believe.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Now, where did Coach Cluley come from?
He come from last job was Lubbock Estacada.
Okay.
So the east side of Lubbock. So
Randall, I got a question. Are you do you do any of the same stuff like Billy does for Texas High?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So you like tunnel, smoke?
So are you bringing fireworks tomorrow?
No, I figured Billy will have all the fireworks we need.
Listen. Here's the good part about Randall, is wherever you go, if Mount Pleasant's playing, you're going to see him there, and that's a testament to him and what he brings. And the kids love him. The kids, know him. Coaching staff. I mean, that's the deal, is he's present,
right?
And that's what these coaches and teams look for, and to have some stability is really cool in that program.
Buddy knows about that.
That's right.
Oh yeah, community support.
Dragon Buddy.
Yeah.
But no,
we got to get a Redwater dude on here. We got to get us. We got to get us a Redwater dude to come up here, sit on the other side of the set, and y'all go at it.
Ben may know a few.
I don't know anybody from. My stepson.
I know who I'm gonna get up here. I know exactly who I'm gonna get up here.
Oh no.
Ain't nobody gonna like it, except for me. Ooh, get my cousin up here, hitting you up, Tyler. I'm sure he's not watching, but I'm gonna send it to him.
Oh, that Tyler.
Well, who y'all got tonight? Or not tonight? What's the day? Wednesday? Friday night, Thursday, whatever day it is.
We travel to Prairie Land. I'm
talking about Hooks. I'm talking about Texas High.
Oh,
and
you looking at me?
Texas High, and Mount Pleasant.
They're playing.
I want to see how big of a homer Randall is.
He's saying who do they think's going to win?
Is that what you said?
That's what who you got means.
Well, they put you on.
Watch some Deion Sanders.
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
So who do I have tomorrow night?
Yeah.
I'm never going to go against my Tigers, man.
Okay.
And it's one of those deals. I mean,
what kind of scoring game do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a shootout, or do you think?
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just according to which team shows up for us. Honestly, it's if the Sulphur Springs game team shows up versus one of the other ones, it could be a shootout. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that T-High is, they're great. Coach Stanford and Coach Hawk and all those guys do a great job, and they got dudes all over the field. But I feel like we have some dudes too. And it's going to come down to how our defense holds them. And if Mason can, get some protection and, find his receivers, I think we have a chance.
And I always say this on radio and on air on game day is I feel like, and not to boast, but I feel like that Texas High is everybody's in our district is their Super Bowl. So I would think that everybody, and it's not that we're the biggest and the baddest. It's that we've had a pretty good run, and that we're a bigger school. than the teams that are in our district, and so you just feel like that everybody gets up for you, and so if you do have a down game or something, you're going to lose. But you got teams, and you got teams like this who've struggled in the past, but now have got some dudes. And you look at Mount Pleasant's team; they got some dudes on both sides of the ball, and you got to play. It's not you don't come in and cakewalk. They're coming in for your homecoming. Shout out to Libby Lavender. Going to walk her across the field.
Yeah, shout out to Libby.
But yeah, so
Billy's going to be looking for.
Well, I've told him. I said,
hope you don't outdo the daughter.
I said I need to. The daughter's the one that told me to dress like this.
Okay,
So
all right.
She
They
likes.
came up and picked my freshest shoes I've ever
She
bought.
likes a little drip.
I've never even worn them. This guy's going to wear them.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I just feel like that Mount Pleasant's going to gear up for us. I'm looking for it to be. I'm like Randall. I'm not going to bet against Texas High, but I'm looking for it to be a shootout. Although our defense has really stepped it up in the last several weeks.
Oh, that's for sure.
But we hadn't played this QB. I root for them, and I root for his son, the rest of the way. And
Billy,
and,
you ain't got to lie up here live on.
okay, we're gonna
you
kick
ain't
their.
gotta lie. So I know the passion that you got, Billy. 'Cause I was watching that. Was it T.J. Gray with the big interception?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
golly.
And at one point, I guess you thought that he was maybe fixing to get tackled, and you're like, "Oh, you're not running as fast as you're supposed to be." Oh, heck, there he goes. So
I'm a cheerleader up in the booth too. I mean,
Right.
I told them if you don't want a homer up there, don't ask me to come up there. But
But that's something to talk about T-High. I mean, you got guys on the offensive side that you can bring in for spot plays on the defensive
Yeah.
side, and they make plays.
yeah,
I mean,
that
it's just you just got athletes.
TJ Gray doesn't play defense, but in certain spots they will use him, and T-ball, he'll do the same. He'll be at safety, and just stuff that we hadn't done in the past, and it's not because we lack depth in those positions. It's just they're trying to get their athletes on the field, and I like the new look. I mean, it'll look bad if one of them goes down when they're playing on defense, but I mean
they're playmakers.
That's right.
They're playmakers.
That's
So
right.
David J gonna play tomorrow night?
Man, do you think so?
Yeah.
I know he is. He is.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Hey, but it's been cool to see what the future looks like with Cam.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it's.
I thought he played
he's-
really well.
Yeah.
I did too.
Kind of being thrown to the. This is what the third quarterback in a row that's kind of been thrown to the fire.
Yeah.
Or is it fourth? Let's go back here. We had Brayson was for sure when Ryan got hurt. Ryan was thrown in as well.
Yeah.
Cody, same thing.
Yeah.
Year before when Brayson got hurt.
Well, if you look
and then
at-
here we go with Cam.
If you look at a couple of years before when you said in the Marshall game, Colton Clack went down and Riley Russell came in, and Riley became a stud, and in the playoff game against. I can't think of their name. He scores 48 points, and we nearly beat the 16-0 state champion.
I do want to say this about Texas High, and I'm sure this happens everywhere, but I've seen it happen 3 straight quarterbacks in a row. Whatever they're doing to develop their talent over there, it's absolutely working. Because you look at Brayson wasn't great as a sophomore. Okay? Elite as a junior. Cody coming in, hadn't played quarterback. He has one off season, one summer with that coaching staff. He might have thrown the school record in yards that year if he hadn't gotten hurt. And then you look at David J. was also not great as a sophomore. Elite right now. I mean, you look at numbers, he is an elite quarterback. And it's like whatever they're doing, and I'm sure it's at every position, but at that particular position, somebody's doing their job to perfection.
Clint Toon, who was a former quarterback, is the OC and quarterbacks coach, and then Coach Stanford. Both of them work with the quarterbacks, and I'll attest to what you're saying. Now, they also are working on their own, and in off season and stuff, not just going through Texas High's off season, but you're right. I mean, it's and what I will say, and I don't know how Coach Stanford has done this, is he doesn't lose coaches. These coaches stick around, and so he's had his not only nucleus but the ones around him. I mean, they're getting they're getting shots at head coaching jobs elsewhere, and they're staying. And it's really cool to know that these kids are getting 4-year, and even they're on the sidelines of these 7th and 8th grade games too, coaching them up. And so seeing them go 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th with the same coaches is really cool. And I think that helps, is not having a OC that's there for 2 years and gone, and DC as well. I mean, these guys have been there for a while.
Now, isn't like some of the younger guys on the T-High team, isn't that like the 5th, 6th graders when Stanford got here have started coming through?
Yeah, they would have been, so Trey was, they would have been about 5th, 6th
Yeah,
grade.
so I mean, those guys, that
Been
when
through.
that whole 6-year window there coming through, and you're seeing it you're seeing it at the 8th grade level.
And I was hearing Jeremy Harrell talk about it on the radio yesterday afternoon. Is they call the same plays in junior high or middle school as they call in varsity. So these kids have heard it, all the way up. They're not doing different things, and that ends up paying off.
Yeah, and I think they even took that down to the little league stuff that's going on there. They're running the same stuff that they run all the way through.
Truth be told, don't let anybody lie to y'all. All that started in Gilmer, Texas, statewide.
Really?
Everything we're seeing, at all the way down to little league, all the way up to varsity, all that started under Trailer. Don't let anybody lie to you.
Yep.
And see where he's at today.
Yeah, I mean, and look at that program. That program, it's impossible for them to ever be bad because of what that legacy he left. And there's a lot of parents coaching in little league who are just doing it, learning the playbook, all that. And then you get into middle school, and of course, they're paid coaches. But like that is an entire community working together. It's impossible for them to ever be bad because of that. I can't say shout out Gilmer. It just won't let me say it.
There's not a Gilmer game day, is there?
No Gilmer game day.
Well, you got I guess you got Longview. Don't preach them up down there.
Longview's
No, sorry. So Longview, I played in the Longview thing. So Nelson Street, if I remember right, was not a safe place to be anytime, but definitely not on Saturday mornings. And we would go out there and play 2 fields. It was wild. But you learned it's different than if you were a Pine Tree kid. Like, we had to be tough.
Right.
And what I mean by tough is you had to be thick-skinned. The parents are yelling at you. The coaches will rip your helmet off on the field. Like, I learned at a very young age I can take an ass chewing. Right. There's really nothing someone can say to me to set me off like that at this point in my life. And it all started, a guy named J.L. Armstrong was my little league coach. To this day, this is going to sound crazy. In my entire life, I've never had a bad coach. And I know that's rare. But it all started at the little league level with him, and they teach you how to be a Lobo there. But keep in mind, you're running the ball every play.
Right.
So these kids at Gilmer are passing the ball every play at a really young age. So by the time they get up there, that tunnel screen is to perfection. We're running draws and sweeps and,
So that all came off Nelson Street.
If that's the street I remember, it might have been High Street down there. But it was, they still play there to this day. And I'm sure it's safer than it was when we were there.
Right.
But it would go, there's no doubt in my mind money was being betted on the sidelines every Saturday. Because these grown 60-year-old men cared way too much looking back on it.
Hey, just real quick, Randall, does Mount Pleasant have youth football down at that level?
We do. So we started in the Tri-County League again about 2 years ago.
So does that mean, who do y'all play?
So we play Marshall, Tyler, Gilmer. There's like 12 teams in it.
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
I got you.
Henderson's in that league. Kilgore, Carthage. So Big Red Sea.
Yeah.
So
Evil.
Y'all got me.
Panola County.
You have to do that.
I purposely don't talk to any of the coaches about injuries or anything like that because I don't want to know and I don't want to give up someone's playing or not playing or whatever. But y'all got me excited that David J's going to play. I've been looking forward to this quarterback matchup for.
Well, Mount Pleasant just maybe hope he's a little bit rusty.
Monday I did see him throwing and he looked fine throwing.
Man, he finds open spots. They do a great job spreading the field out. I mean, Texas High's offense is like watching an elite college's spread offense. Like, they do a great job getting people open. Hey, I want to give a shout-out to my man, Looney.
Yeah.
Dude,
Talking
Kel
about finding-
Looney is like freaking.
You ought to show up and just do a highlight package on him every week.
Well, it's on Saturday, you know.
Kale Looney's got talked about on here by
I
more than
get
any
real
other
busy
athlete.
next week.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said Kale's got more press on here than any athlete.
Well, Kale, let me tell y'all. First time, I can't remember where I saw Kale, why I saw Kale, or how it came about. But there's some people you meet and you're like, they have a chance to be special. And
Are you
I
talking
think
about off the field, or are you talking about on the field? Because
Well-
he's both.
I'm specifically talking about on the field.
Okay.
I ain't gonna give him his roses. I don't know his grades.
Yeah.
But on the field, the
I
dude can
guarantee
ball.
he makes good grades.
The dude can ball at every sport he's playing at. He was on my basketball team last year. Of course, we won the championship. Shout out.
But you developed him.
Yeah, I developed that team. You know, we had great plays in place. Everybody was coachable. I won the championship. No, we just had all the older players on the team. We had an entire team of fourth
He
graders
won it.
playing third
He
graders.
didn't.
Yeah, he didn't even
Hey,
mention the kids.
Yeah.
He's over here talking about the trophy he won.
Hey, true story. I don't even think we had a single play. It was Kale dribble the ball down, shoot it. The big guy's going to get the rebound, and we're going to put it back. Nobody foul. Everybody get out of the way.
Roll the ball out, let 'em go.
Hey, Walker, go stand in the corner.
I'm not gonna
Get out of the paint.
I'm not-
But Kale has at a young age, you can tell he's got a chance.
Oh man.
And you got to see how he develops into middle school. But right now, throwing 4 and 5 touchdowns every game in Little League.
Right.
And let's-
Rolling out,
Yeah.
and I mean, they're
And like Donnie Kelly's been coaching Little League sports for a long time. Dude's obviously a great coach. A lot of the players playing today come from the Donnie Kelly tree. This is just going to be another prospect from that. I think what Texas High did with this Little League program is going to pay huge dividends coming up in the next few years.
Hey, that little Texas High team, they're legit. They're good.
Well, I mean, hey, if Donnie put it together, it's going to be stacked.
Right.
Like, make no mistake.
Right.
Those are handpicked kids. Shout out to my man, Donnie Kelly. I think I saw him this morning. There's power out on Summerhill, and I think I drove by him. All right, well, I guess that's it for y'all's segment that was supposed to take 15 minutes. Took 30. Yeah. Which one of y'all are going to stay on for the rest of it, though?
you can.
We'll figure it out. Let's take a quick 30-second commercial break, Donna. 30 seconds. Don't let them take longer. Y'all don't go anywhere.
Here at Local Habit Coffee Company, we are true coffee connoisseurs and the area's only third wave coffee shop. We are excited as football and fall rolls around to introduce this year's fall drink lineup. We have an all-organic homemade pumpkin spice latte, a delicious s'mores latte, and finally, a smoked maple bourbon cortado that can only be described as fall in a cup. No matter what your preference, you can get your dose of fall right here at Local Habit. We cannot wait to see you in one of our shops, and remember to go make something good happen.
And we are back. We brought in Jay Davis from State Bank.
Jay, 9%. Davis?
We still got
Not
Randall,
done yet.
Morgan, and my main man, Buddy.
Why is Buddy your main man?
Well, I pick on him, he takes it. I feel like if I picked on you that much, you probably wouldn't take it. So.
Well, you definitely have to have thick skin because I'm the king of comebacks.
Yeah, there's definitely some trash talk that goes across some group texts and stuff. So.
Well, let's dive right into our players of the week. From Texarkana Friday Night Lights, we got Winky Williams on offense, 356 total yards,
Wanky.
7 touchdowns, 6 rushing, 1 passing.
Wanky, you played so well last week. We have a camera coming out to DeKalb, New Boston this week.
Just
Somebody
to see
send that-
Winky.
No, not just to see Winky. Don't say that. It's a long-time rivalry game between them. So we have Tony Basso's going to be out there getting highlights and getting some interviews. So ball out this week again.
And then on defense, we got defensive back from Hook, sophomore Kason May. Kind of been a relative unknown, but he had 5 tackles, 2 picks.
Unknown to you.
And,
I know Casey May.
and a 1 pick 6.
Hey, a beautiful pick 6.
Yeah. So just to speak on Casey,
I don't know how it didn't make Trey's top 5 plays.
that
I don't think Trey. I think Trey just pulled from the streams. He
Right.
didn't see all that, or because I ain't gonna question it.
No, I'm not questioning anything Trey does.
but,
I mean, that was a great 5 he put together, but he should have been top 6.
Oh, it should have been.
Yeah, it'd have been in the top
He just
6.
didn't see it.
Right.
If you have a pick 6, you're in my top 5.
Hey, and kind of the funny.
And he broke on the ball. I
So,
mean, it was
so there's a little story behind that. So his dad Cody was standing down there with me on the fence, and Casey, he started, and his dad, was a little nervous about it and stuff. And I said, "Oh man, don't worry about Casey, because I know what kind of athlete the kid is." So, about that time, his dad goes, "Oh man, he got burnt," and it's like he set that kid up for that, and then come and got it, and then went for the pick 6.
yeah, it was a great play, great camera angle. Shout out Tony Basso.
Now, who does Game Day have for Players of the Week?
I knew you were going to do that.
Well, defensively, Noah Sexton.
I knew Winky Williams.
Yeah. all
No,
right.
Noah Sexton. That's right.
Is going to be the different call, but I'm a Pleasant Grove guy.
13
and
tackles.
He has been quietly taking over that Pleasant Grove defense.
If he walked on a field,
Leadership is just incredible out of him.
yeah. Hey, and this is not a knock on him, but if he walked on a field, like I played with some guys, we know some guys that if they walked on a field, you might not look 2 times at them.
Right.
Noah with pads on is a football player. I mean, he's made the transition from junior senior year. Like, dude is a legitimate good football player. Good high school football
Because
player.
he's redheaded.
Is that it?
Yeah, he's Irish. He's legit.
Look at Billy. Look at Billy's. Yeah. It's got to be what it is.
Gingers unite.
That's right. Don't ever knock
Dodie,
us.
who runs game day somewhere, like, yeah. Jason Garrett, same thing.
Sexton has been fun to watch. I really didn't even pick up what he was doing until about game 3 and started looking at the stats. I was like, oh, wow. We've been calling his name, but, when you've got, the names of Jackson and Wooten and Wheeler and, Johnson on that defense.
Well,
Those were the names that I was assuming that I would be, calling out for the remainder of the year, but he's really stepped up.
Well, he's been the most consistent and best linebacker they've had. I mean, hands down, it's not even a discussion.
I feel like in open field, he's one of those guys. Like I haven't personally seen him get shook this year, and it's almost like the defense is set up to funnel towards him because he's not going to miss the tackle.
He's not going to miss the assignment. He's not going to miss the tackle. He's very smart, and he goes.
And a lot of that goes back
120%.
great coaching as well. I mean, because if you're doing stuff like that, you have to trust your player, and for you to trust them that much, they got to be coachable. Shout out to Noah Sexton. Shout out to that bad man, Wanky Williams.
Number 55.
And y'all still got Winky on offense, right?
Yeah, we got Winky on offense. I'm the one told you about Winky.
No, I told you about
I told
Winky.
you about Winky.
Yeah, 6 TDs and 1 passing TD. Yeah, you're probably going to be there.
Right now, we're currently getting messages from Hooks fans. Why didn't we pick more Hooks people?
Wonder who that came from.
Why did we not pick more Hooks people?
I did get that yesterday.
I mean,
Oh.
we could do that every week.
People,
That's
y'all got to realize, and this is one thing. Like, it's very difficult. Anytime we do our postseason player awards, MVP awards. Like, I know your guys can ball, but we have to look at a big area, and some kids have some huge games in big areas.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, I know y'all probably look at the teams y'all play, and there's going to be teams you don't keep up with. But, like, in our coverage area, I don't know how many teams we cover off the top of my head, but, like, 7 tackles ain't going to get it. An interception ain't going to get it.
Yeah, we cover 43.
Yeah.
I don't know how many y'all.
Typically, we don't cover 43. You're doing too much. But there's just kids are going to have big games in the East Texas area. And it's like, not to say your kid didn't have a great game.
Oh, right, for sure.
It's just,
Well, it's like last year when we did our little end of the year awards for Texas County Friday Night Lights.
hey, don't call them little end of the year. Those things are big deals.
Oh yeah, big deals for sure. Yeah, nothing little. I didn't mean that, but
Hey, go get a couple of the MVP trophies. I got to show these things off.
but
I haven't given out yet.
there's a lot of stuff that went into that, and a lot of back and forth talk, and I mean, because at the end of the year, man, there's some huge stats out there. So I know there.
Are we on Hooks right now?
No,
No, we're,
Okay.
I wasn't
I was going to give a shout out to my man Key.
we're almost
Oh,
game
yeah.
of the week.
He'll get 5,000 yards. for his career. That's a big deal. You
That's
know
a
what? I
big
think
deal.
I'm going to have to do something for Key. Key, you get 5,000 yards this week. Or not, yeah, you get 5,000 yards this week. You're going to get a lot of stuff. But you get
I'll go
5,000
give him
career
player of the
yards
week.
this week, man. I'm going to do something special for you.
But you know, I mean, that's just a testament to East Texas football. I mean, even a lot of the schools that you don't really think about very often have dudes. I mean,
Thank you, Donnie.
every team, you can look at every team in East Texas and go, hey, they got this guy, you know, or they got this guy. You know, I'll give one to Hooks. I mean, even Boogie. Boogie was not recruited up until this year.
Boogie's a good kid, man.
And he is
Yes.
a great kid, a great athlete, and a hell of a receiver.
So y'all know we don't spare any expenses. Sponsored by State Bank, Gregor Auto, Texas County Emergency Center. Taekwon Black.
That
Like
is
that.
sweet.
And they get the Playmaker sticker and the coveted MVP sticker. We've only given away. I was trying to think the other day because I was called by someone asking, "Hey, why are you selling MVP stickers?" I thought I would never sell an MVP sticker. Previous MVP sticker dudes are selling their stickers to the kids still in school to put on their helmets. like man, y'all are doing too much. But anyway, so there may be ever 60 to 80 of them out there. So we try to keep it exclusive. Logan Baker, sponsored by the same guys.
I need to take that to him.
Jamon Wheeler, week 1 defensive MVP, if I remember right. Hey, shout out to Tom Parson. He makes all our MVP trophies. Has done it since year 1. They're not cheap, but they're going to last forever, hopefully.
You can't hide it.
That has
So-
to be special to the kids
so
to get one of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Tell me about the MVP stickers. So every kid that gets picked for like player of the week, is that how that works?
Yeah, so if you're an offensive or defensive MVP, you get our MVP helmet sticker. And I know some of these schools have 5 freaking helmets, but they're going
Right.
to get a MVP sticker. You can have a big game
Right.
and get a playmaker sticker. There's a lot more of these out there, probably around 300.
What about
But-
the big hit sticker? Where's it at?
Big hit sticker does not exist because, some people complain.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you might want to put them on this side in case Buddy tries to grab one and take it.
You know how Buddy is. Logan Baker, if you don't end up with your MVP sticker, but Buddy took it.
Logan better be in class. He better not be watching.
Let's see what kind of week Logan Baker had that week. 12 tackles, 1 sack, 5 tackles. 5 tackles for loss. That was against, week 2?
Was that week 2?
Yeah, it's week 2. Defensive MVP. So that wasn't Harmon.
Cooper?
Key Walls is watching Mr. 5K.
Key, you need to go back to class. But
Key, you get 5K this week.
just
Doing something special for you, big dog.
so I don't even know what segment we're in right now, but just say a little
Oh,
bit.
Hooks Takeover at Walk-Ons next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, you talked to me about that this week.
October 11th. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Not
So we're
next
2
week.
weeks out.
2 weeks out. It's
2
gonna
weeks
be,
out on that.
It's going to be a good time.
Well, let's
I look
move
forward
on.
to when we do. Hooks fans are great to me. I
But
love
hold on,
Hooks.
Ben. Ben's trying to move on, but I just want to say something.
We talked about Hooks for 37 minutes out of 40.
All right, we'll move on, Ben. Let's go ahead. What we got next?
Go ahead, I'm
No. What we got next?
Got game of the week. This is Billy and Randall
I
show.
thought you were talking about. I thought you were about to say Hooks.
No.
That's always the game of the week.
Hey, Hooks is game of the week 2.0 versus Prairie Land this week. Don't go back to Mount Pleasant at Texas. You got Mason versus David J. You got Money versus TJ. Man,
I'm gonna go ahead and call it now. Tigers win.
good call.
Yeah,
I agree.
Jay, you better watch who you sitting by over there,
I
man.
see
I
what-
didn't frisk him for knives.
They're both Tigers. I see what you did there, Jay. It took me a second.
There you go.
But right now there's just a difference in the programs. I know Mount Pleasant has some great players, but Texas High has a lot. I don't know what could happen for Texas High to lose this game.
Well, in the grand scheme,
Because go ahead.
even,
I'm not trying to be a hater.
No.
I just as a if Mount Pleasant was this much better, I'd say it. But Texas High is going to be competing for a championship not only this year but the next couple of years. Like they're going to be a very difficult team to beat.
if Mount Pleasant loses, it's not the end of the world. They're still going to be right in there
No, they're gonna get
for
the
a
2
playoff
seed.
run. So, they would love to win it. And, sometimes things happen. But if they don't, I wouldn't lose perspective that
This is-
everything's still in front
I'll
of
tell
them.
you, this is a great game, specifically for those cornerbacks to have a big game because there's going to be a lot of exposure on this game, not only from us, but there's colleges that want the film to this game. So this is a game you want to play well in.
Correct.
Well, and I think against Bennett, they're going to have to.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a great wide receiver. So I mean, I think the cornerbacks for Texas High are going to have a real good game, and you use that word contain on McMinn.
Kind of get excited about this. Got me thinking about bringing the set.
for us, it's just come in and compete. I mean, it's come in and compete. Get to halftime, see where we're at, get through the third quarter, and if we have a chance in the fourth quarter, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. Now, we could be down 20 at half. Who knows? But if we bring our game and our guys show up, I think we'll give them a game. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Texas High. Texas High is loaded. I think 2 years from now, we're sitting up here talking about T-Ball as the next Taylor Tatum. He's that good to me.
Yeah.
And they've got the McGee kid. I mean, he's an absolute monster. So
Loaded for sure.
And McGee's only a sophomore.
yeah.
Well, let's move down here to DeKalb at New Boston. Be the Winky Williams show.
Oldest rivalry in Texas?
So I was actually.
He's about to be a hater.
No hate here. No
He's
hate
about
here.
to do it. Watch. All right.
So-
don't hate them. Let's hear it.
So I'm just gonna say this: every town's got their guy. Jeff Lee from DeKalb is their homer. He's all over Facebook.
He's the
There's
buddy.
Oh, he's the buddy, huh?
what's that? No, actually, he's more like a Chris Bates from Hooks.
Oh, so he's serious.
Yeah. Chris Bates is Hooks by 30 every time. So he's never realistic. But Jeff Lee is their guy over there. So I was talking to him this week and said, "Hey man, you're from DeKalb. You grew up there. You played there. So tell me some history." I said, "Not Jeff Lee facts, but I want some real facts." So he told me this thing started in 1930, and the reason why it started, both schools wanted to be orange and black, so they played for it the first time.
That is awesome. How do we not know that?
DeKalb won. DeKalb won that game, so they got to be the orange and black. New Boston, they went off with gold and maroon after that. The current total is 47, 43, and 1. DeKalb in the whole series has scored 1,583 points. New Boston has scored 1,526 points.
Wow.
New Boston has the longest win streak in the rivalry from 05 to 14, 10 straight years. The only 2 years that it didn't get played, and Jeff did not know this, but it was in 33 and there was some other year. But DeKalb has a library downtown, and they have a book in there that you can go get, check it out, and it breaks down the whole rivalry of how it started and all that stuff. That's where he had them facts.
Shout out to whoever made that book.
Yeah.
If Billy was a serious fan, he'd make a Texas High book.
But I will tell you, it was kind of funny, being the Hooks guy, watching on Facebook all the New Boston and DeKalb guys going back and forth on Facebook all week. So it's been kind of funny.
You know what's kind of like got me down the last 3 years? When they changed the app, when Dave Campbell's changed the app.
That app is terrible.
The trash talk is not good.
No.
I don't even look at it anymore. It used to be you had to look at it.
Right.
Like 19, 20, like you were on that app. People were talking trash. It was great. What happened, I think, was
They got soft.
the boomers
Exactly.
don't really know how to use the new app. And it's not like difficult, but they're not used to it. They had that other app for years, and it worked, and it was great. I don't know why they changed it. So they're not on there talking trash like they're kids anymore.
Right.
So you don't get these wild statements that everybody knows is wrong, but that person won't admit it.
But and another thing about it that when they changed and they go to this big new user agreement deal. So if somebody reports something you say on there, it automatically takes it off. So it doesn't go back to
there was some bad stuff happened 2 years ago. They had to, I think.
right.
But people just gotta have thicker skin.
Make it fun.
Yeah.
Can't be
You
weak.
can go Texarkana Friday Night Lights anytime. Facebook group, say whatever you want to say.
That is not true.
Anything you want to say, that's where you say it.
You will be moderated.
No mama jokes or anything like that.
No, so and that's like I tell Ben about our page. I like open discussion. I really do. I like open discussion. I like people to be able to say what they want to say, but you don't stretch it out to threatening nobody, and that's when it gets bad.
Yeah, but I mean, trash talk's just
Yeah,
part of
trash
it. That's
talk
what
is
I do
trash
like
talk.
about y'all's site. initially before we got together and I didn't really know what y'all were doing, I felt like, man, I kind of have to do something like this now because y'all are getting some traction. You got to cover your backside.
I mean, we had the best talent.
Yeah, and then like the more you look at it, like we're like I'm not gonna call us a news organization, but we want you to know what's happening. We don't necessarily want you to be on our page talking about it and disagreeing with everything and no, this person and this person. Like we don't cover anything bad. Not that y'all do, but it's a perfect forum for discussion.
Oh, exactly.
And like we need that, and it's warranted and wanted in this area. So, but
we'd love to have you over there. Just know how to act.
No, y'all so y'all want. Trust me, Buddy's on there.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's
big skin.
There's several different variations of Buddy on there, I believe.
Let's move down here to Camden or Arkansas High at Camden Fairview. Camden Fairview's 2-0. Arkansas High is 4-4.
Shout out, Coach.
Arkansas High is now ranked number 5 in the state.
Hey, that's a big win over Magnolia. Arkansas High wasn't getting their props.
And Arkansas High.
Magnolia had lost like once or twice, and they were ranked higher than Arkansas High. But I guess in the Arkansas High, none of the teams they played had won a game. So even I was like, all right, let's see what happens. Arkansas High's got a good football team.
They're giving up 7 points a game this year. I mean, that's, people think, and they are. The PG defense is amazing, but they're giving up about 12 or 13 points a game.
Yeah.
Arkansas High is giving up 7.
I just want to give a shout out to Coach Outlaw, man. Like, he took a job, and I remember sitting here the first time I met him and wondering, does this guy know what he got himself into? And that wasn't being a hater on anything. It's just it was in bad shape.
And he's got good assistants too.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job. Excellent job. One of the best coaching jobs as far as he's getting kids out of the hallways. They're playing freshman games. They're playing JV games, something that hadn't happened in the last 4 or 5 years. Imagine your kid playing 7th grade football, 8th grade football, and he's a freshman. He no longer plays football until he's on varsity able to play. So you might be a senior. You might play football practice football for 4 years before you actually played. I have a lot of respect for Coach Outlaw and what he's doing, and I hope this is his year. I mean, they're off to a great start already. Shout out to him, his assistant coaches.
And the thing is, if they win this game, you still got Hot Springs in the mix. But you got to be thinking Arkansas High, Parkview for number 1 in that league. And I'm telling you, that conference, over here we play district ball. Over there they play conference ball. But that is the best 5A conference in the state of Arkansas, bar none.
All this does for me is make me wonder if there was one 6A school in Texarkana, would they be able to compete with Duncanville, North Shore? Because we're just, you can have all this talent, but if it's all about the same,
so you're talking
it doesn't
about,
really matter.
So
but
you're
I'm just saying, like
if we were combined.
Yeah, so you're saying like if Arkansas High and Texas High were combined,
Arkansas High, Texas High, PG,
100%.
it would take all of them to be that big.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it would be because Allen's 6,000, 7,000 students, and they're the biggest school, but they're not obviously dominant anymore. Duncanville, North Shore kind of set the mark.
Chad Morris.
Well, I mean, I would have to say yes, they can compete. I mean, just look at the athletes Texas High has. Look at what Pleasant Grove has. Liberty Isle, what they can, I mean, if you combined all them, I mean, that's like the all Madden team right there.
Every year I'm like, man, I'm going to make an all Texarkana team, and then I end up not doing it because I'm like, somebody's going to get left off that can't be left off.
Right.
Like, I'm just not trying to hear it, So.
Well, and if that were to happen, because now all of a sudden you've got 22 guys, because there's nobody starting both ways in 6A. Imagine how much the other teams around here would strengthen, because you'd have some leakage on maybe you're not a 6A starter, but you're fixing to go ball out at hooks or ball out.
That's something.
It would definitely strengthen.
I got a true story. I'm not scared to share. I could not get on the field at Longview High School. I mean, I played kickoff that's all I did. I played kickoff. They put me out there as a gunner on punt, and that was it. I wasn't getting to play. And my senior year, they did an alignment. I had to go to Spring Hill High School for where I lived, and it was like a different world. It wasn't that I was a bad football player. It was just I was playing with some great football players, and when I dropped to that level, I mean, I played college football. I would have never got the opportunity where I was at Longview. I couldn't even get on the field to play anything other than meaningless downs on kickoff and punt. And that transition to Spring Hill, I went from not getting to play to never coming off the field. I mean, it was growing up at Longview to this day, I wish that wouldn't have happened. But you're right. there'd be some great players go to some of these schools that would make them state championship contenders over. Not that I did, but I mean, we were ranked number 1 in the state. Shout out Spring Hill.
I'm gonna say something.
We came to. I'll never forget it. We came to Redwater. They laughed at us when we got off the bus at halftime. It was
From Spring Hill?
It was 65-0 at halftime.
Oh man, Redwater don't be laughing at nobody. But
That was 2000s. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was raining. We had an All-American running back. We had the offensive MVP of the state on one side, defensive MVP of the state on the other. We were tough, but Dangerfield ended up knocking us out.
So I'm almost gonna say this real quick before we move on. I know Ben's over here. He's tapping his paper and all that stuff. He can't stand it. But one thing that I think is pretty cool. What's Longview's coach's name?
John King.
He is like the vision of what a Texas football coach is. I just picture him with a cigar in his mouth and just the way he talks.
Coach King, we've been down there. It's our 3rd season. I still don't know if Coach King likes me or not. Coach King is just he's one of the few coaches that can say anything he wants to say. He says some wild stuff. I mean, you can't do. Hey, it's so wild that you're scared to laugh.
I like listening to him talk.
But man, he's a good dude, and man, he loves those kids.
Right.
And these Longview kids, and this is no knock on anything, because I know everybody's doing their own thing here. Nobody has the support of a Longview high school football player like they do in Longview, Texas. Nobody is supported more.
You need to come to Hooks.
The Booster Club, between the Booster Club, the businesses that support the program,
right.
Coach King goes all out for those kids. They have a bond coming up. And for Longview being as dominant as they've been for as long as they've been, for them to not have adequate facilities is just a travesty in my opinion. Hopefully we can get that thing
That's
passed
still a
this
very
year.
iconic place they play.
It's no, the field's iconic. Field don't need to change. It's the practice facilities.
I got you.
I mean, they have the same practice facilities from when I was there, and those practice facilities were there in the 70s. So, like, they need a real indoor football field.
All right, Ben, what else you got?
Let's move to Cooper at Rivercrest. I want to cover this game. Cooper's very good. Rivercrest will probably make the playoffs, but I got a buddy of mine, his son. Does anybody know David Grider from DCAB?
Man,
Well,
knows everybody.
Me and David's worked together for years. Well, his son, this will actually be his 3rd son to play at Rivercrest, Mark Grider. He's a junior quarterback, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks, 834 yards. We're going to pick right now. We're going to say they beat Cooper because here's my thing. If Hooks played Cooper that close, Rivercrest is bound to beat them.
Not happening.
Let's go. I like your
Cooper's
thinking.
number 4 in the state, and you're calling them. You're
That-
calling the upset, huh?
Ben's
right.
deciding with
Just
his buddy,
for
but that's not
Will
happening.
Grider.
That's not
All
happening.
right. Cooper's got 3 rushers with over 500 yards, so that defense going to have to come up big for Rivercrest.
Hey, first off, that Cooper defense is physical, so that's not happening.
They're 2A versus 3A, though.
Well, I mean, that's Texas high school football, man.
I tell you, it's not just Buddy. You can't tell Hooks fans anything. Hooks fans are going to hate on anybody they play, and I love it.
I'm not hating. We're not
Oh,
playing
you're hating,
Cooper this week.
You're hating.
I was giving Cooper props.
You better watch out for Prairie Land.
Yeah.
I don't even know where
Let
Prairie
me tell
Land
you
is.
something. You get
I
over
looked it up on a map.
No.
I was thinking about going. I was like, nah, I ain't going all the way.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say this.
It's in the middle of Pattonville.
I don't know where it's at, but I know how long it takes to get there.
I
from my
know,
house.
and it's a terrible drive either way you go. But you get over in Lamar County, hey, you're not just playing 11 kids on the field. You're playing them 4 or 5 refs that they drag in there too.
I'm bringing Tyler Harry
Oh,
on next week.
I forgot. Is Mount Pleasant in Lamar County?
No.
Oh,
Oh.
Mount Pleasant's Titus County.
Oh.
let's say.
Come on now.
But hey, it's rough over
See,
in Prairie
Ben,
Land.
actually,
Ben doesn't know if he's rooting for Redwater or Hooks. I mean, he's just
actually,
Jay
know,
brings it
look
back.
at it, man.
Jay puts it back in play.
Well, now we're going to move to the super secret, most awesome team in East Texas game of the week, Hooks at Prairie Land.
There ain't no super secret about it. Everybody knows about us.
What's everybody think on this one? Think Prairie Land and the Patriots have a chance?
No.
Hooks is only allowing 11.8 points per game. I think it's going to be one-sided.
Man,
quick.
Birdwell's added
It could be 100-0 if they chose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Birdwell's attitude, and I'm not. I don't mean that came out wrong. The way he carries himself and the way the team follows that direction. That's tough kids, man. Like,
So-
you got to be tough to play for him.
Right. So, I mean, it's just like he said in his interview after the game last week. We find a way to win.
Oh, Buddy's doing interviews for us now.
I'm going to start.
Start starting this week.
So,
Are they going to be live?
It better be a good one.
Yeah.
No, I can't
Okay.
be live. Can't do live interviews with Buddy.
no, I'll be behind the camera, but
Gotta edit that thing.
just find a way to win. We find a way to win. We got the kids, so
Does Keyshawn get to 5,000 this week?
I don't know how many he needs to get there, but if they want to get there, he
I
probably will.
know a lot of people, and I even Key, they all want these stats. I just want to get through this game, no injuries to any of our kids, and keep moving on down the road. I think the bigger picture for us right now is getting through games and getting down the road instead of chasing some stats right now.
Well, let's move on to our recap game from last week. First one we'll start off with Pleasant Grove 45, Paris nothing.
Landon Jackson just got on. Shout out, Landon.
There you go.
Got a big timer watching.
That's a big win, and big win for Pleasant Grove because they come off.
Billy said, "Hook 'em," or gig 'em. Gig 'em. I'm sorry, gig 'em. Billy, how does it make you feel? Texas probably gonna be ranked 1 in a couple weeks. Yeah, we're gonna be glad you're able to say you beat them 2 years ago. Billy's gonna be like, yeah, we beat them 2 years ago.
I don't even think that's going to happen, but
They're not going to be ranked 1. I mean, it's not going to happen.
That's haters, boy.
no, I'm not hating. I'm just
not.
saying.
I mean,
being
I wish
realistic.
I loved Texas. I mean, you literally have more money.
I cannot
you
wait
have
to
more
cut this.
resources than anybody else. I wish I loved a team like Texas. You got the greatest state in the union to pull pull high school football from. Then me and Billy got Arkansas over here. We got 2.7 million people.
Woohoo!
Our high school football is marginal at best. You guys should beat the brakes off of us every year.
We also have to compete
But you
against
don't.
like 8 different colleges.
But they don't.
And Alabama was paying a lot more than
I've got a
everybody
good
else.
feeling about Texas football this year, and I've shared that with a few people this week, and I don't use the word back. We never left.
Well, me and Billy's putting in some money right now. We're gonna be sending Sark several cases of scotch, and we know how he gets when he gets turned up, as they say.
Used to.
It hadn't stopped. We hadn't got him turned at a pep rally
It's
yet.
Shinerbach down in Austin, by the way.
But anyway, Pleasant Grove with the big win. Gilmer almost beat Paris. Rain saved them there.
I mean, Paris almost beat Gilmer.
Right. Paris almost beat Gilmer, sorry. Hooks, beats Paul Pewitt 47-6. Texas High 42-7 over Hallsville. Sulphur Springs 52, LE 34. New Boston 28. Redwater 16. Arkansas High 28, Magnolia 7. Hope 49, D Queen 7, and we'll finish out with an Arkansas score of Ashdown 52, Waldron 14.
Well, you look at all those scores. I think we all went into last week knowing who was going to win. There was going to be definitely some stretched, gaps in there. And one of the things that I'm interested in seeing a lot of these teams do over the next 3 to 4 games as they eventually become district champions is, can they start getting some of those perfection games in there? Can they get all 3 phases? Because I know Pleasant Grove, there's been some quarters where it looks like they haven't had their top game. Texas High's had some things that they need to polish up. Those are the things that these next 3 to 4 weeks, because I don't think that the district, 1 and 2, all of our teams around here are going to be. But I think that they're going to have to start doing some things to get ready for those, second and third playoff games.
I don't want to be a Liberty Ilo beat Atlanta last week.
No. Liberty Allo got beat by Sulphur Springs last week.
Oh, that's all right. So I'm 2 weeks behind.
2 weeks.
Never, my bad.
Yeah, he was in Alaska.
I was in Alaska. That's right. Okay. Shout out to them Burrs. It's a wild trip. Can't wait to go back.
But what you're saying, Jay, Pleasant Grove last week, they went 45-0, but they also turned it over back to back times. And I was surprised by the margin on that one.
You know what I thought was funny about that game? Gibson puts the third string in. They break like a 45-yard run, and here comes the first string. They were not about to let them score.
Oh, hey, by the way, my kid did make the tackle on, the touchdown saving, and then he's like, y'all are out.
It happens.
Guys, I got to roll.
Shutouts are important.
Randall, thanks for coming up, man. Anytime you want to come, I want you to come.
Randall and Billy,
Thanks for having me.
always welcome here.
And before we leave, we had a bye last week, so I caught the Mount Vernon Mineola game. And I'm going to tell you, if y'all haven't heard of these two kids, y'all need to look at them. Boone Morris, he is him.
That's the
You know,
linebacker.
that's the linebacker. He's going to UTSA, committed with Jeff and those guys down there. I think he's got like 20 offers.
Wow.
Dude can flat out play. Sophomore running back, Dawson Witherspoon. He's played 5 games. The first game he only had four or five carries. So really 4
That's
games.
the 10th grader.
Yeah.
I saw highlights from
He's
last
got
week.
781 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, 149 receiving with 1 touchdown. The dude can go. I mean, he's a small stature kid, 5'11", but he can go. So
Random Terry Boosie commits this week on Dave Campbell's.
Is it Bussy or Boosie?
Well, whoever. I call him Boosie because I like Boosie. Boosie,
didn't the
baby.
Refugio kid go to A&M?
Don't get me lying.
I think he, him and Bussy are about the same.
But as always, guys,
Boosie's going to go to Texas.
if your team is off
They
this
paid
week,
much money.
go find somewhere to go. Go support these kids. There's still a lot of games going around here.
Go to a fireworks show at Texas High Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Billy's going to have the fireworks and the smoke. Billy's
Fireworks on and off the field.
Yeah.
If I can convince my ex-wife to meet me early, since she don't really give up much on our agreement, I'm going to go to Prairie Land and Hooks. If I don't convince her to meet me early, I'm going to the Texas High Mount Pleasant game. I hope she's not watching because I'm sure this will get like
We
turned
run-
in along with
Mount
everything
Pleasant will
else.
take all weekend fans we can get.
There you go.
Oh, we
Hey,
run-
I will sit with you guys.
Yeah.
We're running divorce court up here now.
All right, guys, that's going to be it. See y'all next Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
Tune in.
Go